Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Old Quarter Dollar USA. Today, we will explore 4 interesting United States coins, including the famous old quarter and dime coins of the USA. In this video, I will share the history, design, mint marks, and interesting facts about these classic American coins that collectors love around the world. Top 1. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is an interesting piece of American coinage that reflects an important period in the history of United States currency. This coin belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which has been produced by the United States Mint since 1946. The Roosevelt dime was introduced shortly after the death of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, to honor his legacy and leadership during difficult times such as the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was also closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign that worked to fight polio, which made placing his portrait on the dime especially meaningful. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is part of a transitional era in U.S. coinage when major changes were made to the metal composition and minting practices due to rising silver prices and coin shortages during the 1960s. The 1966 dime has no mint mark, which is an important feature. During the years 1965, 1966, and 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from circulating coins to discourage coin collectors from hoarding newly minted coins. At the time, the United States was facing a severe coin shortage. Many people believed coins with mint marks might become rare and valuable, so the government temporarily removed them from all circulating coins to ensure smoother circulation. Although the 1966 dime was produced mainly at the Philadelphia Mint, the absence of a mint mark was a deliberate policy decision rather than an indication of location. This makes the 1966 dime historically interesting because it reflects a special period in American minting policy. Another important aspect of the 1966 Roosevelt dime is its composition. Before 1965, U.S. dimes were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, after the passage of the Coinage Act of 1965, the composition of dimes changed to a copper-nickel-clad structure. The 1966 dime therefore contains 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers, with a pure copper core in the center. This change helped the government reduce the cost of producing coins while keeping the same size and appearance so the public could continue using them easily. The coin has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, weighs 2.27 grams, and has a reeded edge with small grooves around the rim. The obverse front of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design was created by the talented sculptor and engraver John R. Sinek, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The word Liberty appears along the left side of the coin, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is placed below Roosevelt's chin. The year 1966 appears to the right of the portrait. Sinek's initials JS can also be found near the base of the neck. Interestingly, when the coin was first introduced in 1946, some people mistakenly believed the initials stood for Joseph Stalin, which caused a brief controversy during the early years of the design. The reverse back of the 1966 Roosevelt dime carries a powerful symbol of American unity and peace. In the center is a torch representing liberty and enlightenment. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch symbolizing peace, and on the right side is an oak branch representing strength and independence. Around the top edge appears the inscription, United States of America, while the denomination 1 dime is written at the bottom. Across the middle of the coin is the national motto, E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many one, which reflects the unity of the United States. The mintage of the 1966 Roosevelt dime was extremely high because of the nationwide coin shortage at the time. The United States Mint produced approximately 821 million coins in 1966. Because such a large number were minted, the coin is very common in circulation and usually does not carry high value unless it is in exceptional uncirculated condition. Most circulated examples are worth their face value of 10 cents, but coins in mint state condition can be worth several dollars to collectors. Special high-grade coins graded by professional services may be worth even more, especially if they display strong luster and minimal contact marks. Coin collectors who specialize in Roosevelt dimes often pay close attention to condition, strike quality, and luster. A well-preserved 1966 dime with a strong strike and brilliant surfaces can be attractive even though it is not rare. The coin may also be collected as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set, which includes coins from 1946 to the present. Many collectors enjoy assembling these sets because they show the historical transition from silver to clad coinage in the United States. Historically, the 1966 Roosevelt dime represents an era when the United States economy and coinage system were adapting to changing financial realities. Rising silver prices during the early 1960s caused people to hoard older silver coins, leading to shortages in everyday circulation. The decision to remove silver from dimes and quarters under the Coinage Act of 1965 was a major turning point in U.S. numismatic history. The 1966 dime, therefore, stands as an example of how economic pressures can influence the design and composition of a nation's currency. Today, the 1966 Roosevelt dime remains a widely recognized and commonly collected coin. Although it is not rare, it holds historical significance because it belongs to the first generation of clad dimes produced after the removal of silver from U.S. circulating coinage. For collectors, it serves as a reminder of the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the evolution of modern American money. Whether found in pocket change or preserved in a coin collection, the 1966 Roosevelt dime continues to represent an important chapter in the long and fascinating story of United States coinage. Next, top 2. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is a notable coin in the history of modern American currency and part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series issued by the United States Mint. This series began in 1946, shortly after the death of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was widely admired for leading the nation during the Great Depression and most of World War II, and he was also strongly connected with the charity organization March of Dimes, which worked to fight the disease polio. Because Roosevelt supported the March of Dimes campaign, the United States decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the 10-cent coin. Since 1946, Roosevelt's image has remained on the dime, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The 1967 dime represents an important era when the United States was dealing with major economic and monetary changes that affected coin production. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1967 Roosevelt dime is the fact that it has no mint mark. Normally, United States coins include small letters that indicate where they were produced, such as D for the Denver Mint or S for the San Francisco Mint. However, from 1965 to 1967, the United States Mint removed mint marks from all circulating coins. This policy was introduced because the country was experiencing a serious coin shortage. Many collectors were hoarding coins with mint marks because they believed those coins might become rare and valuable in the future. To discourage this hoarding and keep coins circulating, the government temporarily eliminated mint marks. Therefore, the 1967 dime has no mint mark, even though it was struck in several mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Another important feature of the 1967 Roosevelt dime is its metal composition. Before 1965, Dimes were made primarily of silver, containing 90% silver and 10% copper. However, the rising price of silver caused many people to remove silver coins from circulation, creating a shortage of small change. To solve this problem, the United States government passed the historic Coinage Act of 1965. This law removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters and replaced it with a more affordable metal structure. As a result, the 1967 dime is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers that contain 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 2.27 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which is the groove pattern around the rim that helps protect the coin from wear and prevents clipping. The obverse side or front of the coin displays the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The design was created by the sculptor and engraver John R. Sinek, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint during the mid-20th century. On the left side of the portrait appears the word liberty, which is a traditional element found on many American coins and symbolizes freedom and democratic values. Below Roosevelt's chin appears the motto, "In God We Trust." To the right of the portrait is the year 1967, indicating when the coin was minted. At the base of Roosevelt's neck are the small initials JS, which represent John Sinek, the designer of the coin. When the Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, some people mistakenly believed these initials referred to the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, but this misunderstanding was quickly clarified. The reverse side of the 1967 dime contains powerful symbols that represent the ideals of the United States. In the center is a torch, which symbolizes liberty, enlightenment, and the guiding light of freedom. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch, which traditionally represents peace. On the right side is an oak branch, symbolizing strength, stability, and independence. Around the upper edge of the coin appears the inscription, United States of America, identifying the issuing country. Along the bottom is the denomination 1 dime, which tells the value of the coin. Across the middle is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one, a phrase that reflects the unity of the American states into a single nation. The mintage of the 1967 Roosevelt dime was extremely high because the government was trying to produce enough coins to solve the nationwide shortage. In 1967, the United States Mint struck approximately 1.5 billion dimes, making it one of the most widely produced coins of the Roosevelt dime series. Because such a large number were minted, the 1967 dime is very common today. Most examples found in circulation are worth only their face value of 10 cents, although uncirculated coins in excellent condition can be worth several dollars to collectors. Coins graded in very high mint state conditions may be worth even more because they are more difficult to find without scratches or wear. Collectors often include the 1967 Roosevelt dime in a complete set of Roosevelt dimes, which spans from 1946 to the present day. The coin is particularly interesting because it belongs to the short 3-year period when mint marks were removed from United States coins. For numismatists, this period provides a fascinating glimpse into the economic challenges faced by the United States during the 1960s. The transition from silver coins to copper-nickel-clad coins dramatically changed the appearance, value, and production methods of American currency. Next top 3. The 1985 P. Roosevelt dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series issued by the United States Mint. This series began in 1946 to honor the memory of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential leaders in American history, guiding the nation through the Great Depression and the majority of World War II. He was also closely connected with the charitable organization March of Dimes, which worked to raise funds for the fight against polio. Because of Roosevelt's dedication to this cause, the United States government chose to place his portrait on the dime shortly after his death in 1945. Since its introduction, the Roosevelt dime has remained a central part of American circulating coinage, and the 1985 P issue represents one of the modern examples of this historic coin series. The 1985 dime with the P mint mark was produced at the famous Philadelphia Mint. For many years, the Philadelphia Mint did not place mint marks on coins, but starting in 1980, the Mint began adding the letter P to most coins to identify their place of production. The mint mark appears on the obverse side of the coin, just above the date, 1985. This small letter indicates that the coin was struck in Philadelphia, which is one of the oldest and most historically important minting facilities in the United States. Established in 1792, the Philadelphia Mint has produced billions of coins for circulation and continues to play a major role in the country's monetary system. The composition of the 1985 Roosevelt dime reflects the modern clad coinage system adopted by the United States during the 1960s. Before 1965, dimes were made from 90% silver, but rising silver prices forced the government to change the metal content of coins. This change was officially established by the Historic Coinage Act of 1965. As a result, the 1985 dime is made from a copper-nickel clad composition. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This design keeps the coin durable and resistant to wear while maintaining the same appearance and size as earlier silver dimes. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which is the series of small grooves around the rim that help protect the coin from damage and make it easier to identify by touch. The obverse front design of the 1985 P. Roosevelt dime shows a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The portrait was designed by the skilled engraver John R. Sinek, who served as chief engraver at the United States Mint during the mid-20th century. On the left side of the portrait appears the word liberty, representing the core principle of American democracy and freedom. Beneath Roosevelt's chin is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the right of the portrait is the date 1985, which indicates the year of minting. The mint mark P appears near the date, identifying the Philadelphia Mint as the place where the coin was produced. At the base of Roosevelt's neck are the initials JS, representing John Sinek, the designer of the coin. The reverse back design of the 1985 Roosevelt dime features a combination of symbolic elements representing the ideals of the United States. At the center is a torch, which symbolizes liberty, enlightenment, and knowledge. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch, which represents peace and harmony among nations. On the right side is an oak branch, symbolizing strength, endurance, and independence. Around the top edge of the coin appears the inscription, United States of America, identifying the issuing country. At the bottom is the denomination 1 dime, indicating the value of the coin. Across the middle of the design appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one, representing the unity of the states that form the United States. The mintage of the 1985 P. Roosevelt dime was very large because dimes are one of the most widely used coins in everyday commerce. The United States Mint produced approximately 764 million coins at the Philadelphia Mint in 1985. Because such a large number were minted, the coin is considered common in circulation today. Most circulated examples are worth only their face value of 10 cents, although coins that remain in uncirculated condition may be worth slightly more to collectors. High-grade examples with strong luster and minimal contact marks can be valued higher, especially when certified by professional coin grading services. For coin collectors, the 1985 P. Roosevelt dime is an important part of modern coin collections. Many collectors enjoy building a complete Roosevelt dime set that includes coins from 1946 to the present day. Although the 1985 P dime is not rare, it represents the continued use of the Roosevelt design and the stability of modern American coinage. Coins from the 1980s also show the improved minting techniques used by the United States Mint, which produced coins with sharper details and better durability compared to earlier decades' next top four. The 1998 D. Roosevelt dime is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series issued by the United States Mint. This coin represents modern American circulating coinage and continues a tradition that began in 1946. The Roosevelt dime was introduced shortly after the death of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was widely respected for guiding the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He was also closely connected with the charity organization March of Dimes, which worked to fight the disease polio. Because Roosevelt supported this organization and helped raise awareness about the illness, the United States government decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the 10-cent coin. Since that time, the Roosevelt dime has remained one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. The 1998 Roosevelt dime with the D Mint mark was produced at the historic Denver Mint. The letter D appears on the obverse side of the coin near the date 1998, identifying Denver as the minting facility. The Denver Mint is one of the major coin-producing branches of the United States Mint and has been striking coins for circulation since the early 20th century. The Mint is known for producing billions of coins every year to meet the demands of commerce across the United States. Coins produced at Denver are marked with the D Mint mark, so collectors and historians can identify their origin. The composition of the 1998 D. Roosevelt dime follows the modern clad metal system introduced after the Historic Coinage Act of 1965. Before that law was passed, dimes were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, rising silver prices during the 1960s caused many people to hoard silver coins, which created a shortage in circulation. To solve this problem, the government removed silver from most circulating coins and replaced it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1998 D dime therefore consists of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This layered structure makes the coin durable, cost-effective, and resistant to wear while maintaining the same size and weight as older silver dimes. The coin weighs 2.27 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which consists of small grooves around the rim that help protect the coin from clipping and improve its durability. The obverse front design of the 1998 D dime features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. This design was created by the sculptor and engraver John R. Sinek, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. The word liberty appears along the left side of the portrait, symbolizing freedom and democratic values. Beneath Roosevelt's chin is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the right of the portrait is the date 1998, which identifies the year the coin was produced. Just above the date is the D Mint mark, showing that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. At the base of Roosevelt's neck are the initials JS, representing John Sinek, the designer of the coin. These initials caused a brief controversy when the Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 because some people mistakenly believed they represented the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, but the confusion was quickly cleared. The reverse back Design of the 1998 D. Roosevelt dime contains powerful national symbols. At the center stands a torch, representing liberty, enlightenment, and knowledge. To the left of the torch is an olive branch, which symbolizes peace. To the right is an oak branch, representing strength, endurance, and independence. Around the upper edge of the coin appears the inscription, United States of America, identifying the issuing nation. Along the bottom is the denomination 1 dime, which states the value of the coin. Across the middle of the design is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, which represents the unity of the states forming the United States. The mintage of the 1998 D. Roosevelt dime was very large because dimes are heavily used in everyday transactions. In 1998, the United States Mint produced approximately 1.1 billion dimes at the Denver Mint alone. Because of this large production number, the coin is considered common and is still frequently found in circulation today. Most circulated examples are worth only their face value of 10 cents, but coins in uncirculated or mint state condition may be worth slightly more to collectors. High-grade examples with bright luster, strong strike quality, and minimal contact marks can sometimes command higher prices in the numismatic market, especially when graded by professional coin grading companies. For coin collectors, the 1998 D. Roosevelt dime is typically included in complete Roosevelt dime collections that run from 1946 to the present day. Although it is not rare, it represents the continued tradition of honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt on American coinage. Collectors often appreciate these coins for their historical continuity and symbolic design. The coin also demonstrates the modern minting technology used by the United States Mint during the late 20th century, which allowed the production of large numbers of coins with consistent quality.